The light up stump is an example of if this goes wrong, everybody's going to look at the people that helped create it, right? So, but I want that pressure too. I don't mind it, but at the same time, those are things to definitely be aware of as you grow in your career too.
And the bullseye is only even bigger for you because you're a soft target. If it fails, oh, blame the American. This idiot doesn't know anything about cricket. Let's get him the hell out of here and go back to the people who actually know something about cricket.
Totally. There was one night early in the BBL year one. I can't remember what paper it was, but it was labeled the Mickey Mouse of cricket, and it was the pre-Christmas games that were lower attended, and then right after Christmas, once kind of things changed, just had an explosion of attendance, right? But there was is this the Mickey Mouse of Christmas, and do we have the Americans to blame? And you just need to plow through it, right? You can't let those kind of perspectives change the vision that you have. And if you are going to go down, right? And plow through with that vision to be able to succeed.
One other quick thing I want to ask you before we get more in depth into BBL and the cricket. Your experiences as a sports marketing consultant working, or as an employee working in the marketing wing of some of these teams, versus being an owner. So when you became a co-owner of the minor league franchise in Florida, how did that change your philosophy or change your appreciation for how things can be done or need to be done from a cost standpoint, as opposed to, an employee who's hired to do things? Now you've got an ownership stake. If it fails, it's your money. It's coming out of your pocket. So,
yeah.
And that can affect the ability to actually proceed with plans or pull the plug, or how long you can persist with something before you need to go to option B. So how did being an owner, if in any way, change the way you started to conceptualize and approach certain things?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. I mean, I think in all situations, you should try to think like an owner. I think having had that exposure first at the Bears, and doing something at the time, right? You were basically developing a new medium for them, direct report to ownership. So you kind of had permission to think like that, I think is always there. I think what I learned, most even from Mike Veck, is good ideas don't have to cost anything too. And I think if you look at some of those early BBL examples, I remember there was, I don't know if it was year one or year two, we were working with all the teams to come up with the biggest idea to engage kids. And I think some of the major market teams, the Sydney and the Melbournes, well, what's the budget for it? Well, don't worry about the budget, just come up with the best idea, right? At the time. And Perth Scorchers and the Hobart Hurricanes came back with ideas that we worked on with them. And one of them for Perth was to move a press conference from the stodgy press conference room that you've been in a million times. And why don't we do it as an all-school assembly at an elementary school and have a contest to have kids introduce a new player signing and turn it more into a pep rally. So it actually saved money. If you think about it, you didn't have to buy the deli sandwiches for the reporters and everything. And it turned it into an event. And then Hobart just came up with the simple idea of win a chance to have a player drive you to school on the last day of school. So it was a database promotion. I'm not going to confirm or deny that maybe, the player and the winner that was chosen happened to share a zip code, postal code, right? That it made it easier. But those are good examples that I think you learn from people like Mike Vack is what's the best idea first, and then figure out, is there an efficient economical way to do it? Or, sometimes the reverse of it, it's paralysis by analysis, where what's the budget and we'll spend to that budget. I think you flip it a little bit. And I think a lot of times there's more creative ways to achieve those things. So that probably, if you really think like an owner and it's your own dollars, you would look for the best idea at the lowest cost versus what's the dollar amount that I have to spend, like you're managing mom and dad's credit card a little bit. And I think getting teams of all levels to change their mindset like that is a really powerful lesson.